If you've had these 5 things that I'm going to break down in this video, chances are you need more testosterone. Look, TRT should solve every single one of your testosterone deficiency problems, not just energy and anabolism and quick recovery and strength in the gym, but TRT should give you insatiable libido and strong, healthy erections. So we're going to break down 5 reasons you need higher dose TRT, but hear this very important point. Even if you're already on high doses, call it 200 milligrams a week, but you're doing frequent injections, listen very carefully to this one, you're still not high dosing TRT. If your libido sucks, no matter what you do on TRT, this video is for you. If your erections suck, no matter what you do on TRT, this video is for you. If you're on high doses, but you're doing frequent injections and you're having side effects or things aren't quite right and you think it's estrogen, this video's for you. When you leave this video, you're going to have the instruction on how to dose high amounts of testosterone, be, feel, and look strong as hell, and have the sexual function of a young man. All right, first off the video, Low Cortex Labs, which is my company, is a TRT guidance and sexual dysfunction resolution company. I wanted to officially announce to you folks that 3 and 6 month coaching packages are now again 50% off. We run these once a year. Last time was August. If you need to book me specifically to get libido and erections firing on all cylinders on TRT, we will get it solved. You are saving thousands of dollars right now. The coupon code for that is 50 now. Whether it's 3 months sexual function restoration or 6 months advanced TRT sexual function restoration, you're saving 50% off, which is thousands of dollars on all of the coaching packages. You and I are on the fact-finding call as soon as the next day, and we begin. If you're tired of wasting time and you want to get the libido and sexual function to youthful levels, hire me. It's 50% off, codes in the description. Also down below are a list of highly useful TRT products, digital downloadable courses and guides to show you how to dial in sexual function on testosterone. Find that down in the description of this video. All right, so these are 5 situations in which you need higher testosterone, and these things should tell you that you need higher testosterone. But what I want to break down first is you could already be on, quote, high doses, 150, 160, 175, 200 milligrams a week, and yet you still need higher testosterone. But here's what you don't need in that case. If you're on 200 milligrams a week and you're pinning daily or even every other day, you don't need a higher dose than that. You need a gapped frequency. By higher dose, what I mean in this video is more testosterone in one injection and a trough of hormones so that you can support that testosterone relative to estradiol. The best way to tolerate higher doses of TRT, 175 to 210 call it, is to inject less frequently. All right, so let's talk about reason number 1 that you need higher testosterone. More testosterone at once when you inject. All right, number 1, your libido sucks no matter what. No matter what, okay? 40 milligrams every other day, 40 milligrams every day, 20 milligrams daily, 60 milligrams twice weekly, 30 milligrams prop a day, 200 milligrams a week of TRT, test cypionate, but you're doing daily or every other day injections, and your libido still sucks. Listen, the reason your libido sucks on any of those doses, especially when you're injecting frequently, even at 200 milligrams a week, is because your body cannot operate with testosterone under a normal rhythm. Normal rhythm being you peak pretty high and then you trough moderately normal. If you're dosing 200 milligrams a week, but you're doing 27 milligrams a day, you're killing your body's ability to actually feel your testosterone and to let your testosterone work. Why? Because you're constantly overlapping testosterone, right? You're getting CNS adaptation. You do not get enough androgen-mediated gene activation at one singular time, and you're not allowing the testosterone to come up, work for your body, work in concert with sex hormone-binding globulin, transport those androgens to the tissues where it matters, both in the brain and in the penis, because you're constantly just flooding yourself with another injection, another injection, another injection. And in those cases, the estradiol is always going to be disproportionately out of range compared to your testosterone because you have no major peaks or troughs. Estrogen of the tissues continues to accumulate, and you do not want this to happen. You're going to have sexual dysfunction and your libido is going to be crap, okay? Fine, dose your 200 milligrams, right? But if you've dosed high dose testosterone in frequent injection capacity and you don't have libido, You need to be injecting 120 every fourth day, 150 every fifth day, 200 milligrams every 7 days, and then leaving it alone. Not only are the erections going to come back, but your libido will be strong again. All right, number 2, erections specifically for sex are failing. You might have nocturnals, you might be able to induce one by watching pornography or whatever, but when it comes down to the act, you need 20 milligrams Cialis, and that's not even doing it for you. That is a very clear signal. In fact, the clearest signal that you need more testosterone in your body. Okay, you don't need to increase your daily injection to 40 milligrams a day. All that's going to do is further the problem. Listen, what drives erections for sex obviously are nitric oxide, endothelial health, smooth muscle tone in the penis, but you need enough androgens at once for the venous occlusive function to work the way it's supposed to work for you to have the ability to maintain erections during sex. At the same time, with higher amounts of testosterone at once, again, call it 140, 150 every fifth day or something, because you optimize libido so heavily with that, the libido in the moment, in addition to the erection stuff, like the underlying physiology of erections, the libido is what drives the erections too. Right? You can't just think of erections as like let's try to create the underlying mechanical stuff. It is also about the libido. You'll hear plenty of times people on daily injections, even if they're high doses or lower end doses, where during sex they have to like focus extra heavy to keep an erection. Okay, you should not have to focus at all. Part of your problem is there's not enough of an androgen signal for your brain to fire the correct way to have actual sex drive consistently throughout the act so that you don't lose erections. Okay, if you've tried these 20 milligram daily injections, 40 milligram every other day, 50 milligram every other day injections, and your erections for sex are still failing, yes, it is the estrogen, but it's more pulse of your testosterone, right? You're doing this smooth curve like this, and estrogen's just going to land in a place where it is disproportionately high compared to your androgens, and then you're just going to stay there. You stay steady state in a crappy place where you can't physically have sex. You need to inject more testosterone at once and less frequently. Number 3 way to tell that you need more androgens at once is that you're already on a pretty high dose or an actual high dose, and your anabolism sucks, and your physique does not really look like you're on TRT. I want to explain something to you folks. There is a huge difference between 30 milligrams daily and 150 milligrams every fifth day, which is the same total weekly dose, by the way, of 210 milligrams of testosterone in terms of anabolism. That 150 milligram bolus is giving you a lot more heavy saturation of the ARs, lots of androgen gene expression, and therefore a more pronounced effect at skeletal and muscle tissues of testosterone, right? So like if your anabolism, even on pretty high doses or actually high doses, despite going to the gym and working out and trying to eat right, is not up to par, you need to inject more testosterone at once. Now, I don't care if it's 100 milligrams every fourth day, 100 milligrams every 3.5 days, 100 milligrams every fifth day. Again, some people peak a lot higher, and that's all they're going to need right there. You're going to need to infuse more androgens, have more androgens available at once. You're going to need to peak and trough. You're going to need to let the testosterone work with bolus injections less frequently. Then on the same dose you've been dosing, even if you're dosing 150 a week, I guarantee you're going to be more anabolic. You'll be stronger at the gym. You'll feel physically better, and you will look better. Number 4 reason or way to tell that you need higher dose TRT, and again, more at once, is that estrogen dominates your protocol. Estrogen is dominating your protocol. Yeah, guess what? When you're injecting 30 milligrams a day, estrogen is going to dominate your protocol no matter what the blood say, because you're constantly overlapping, right? If the blood is not an accurate surrogate for what is happening at the tissue levels, even if you're sitting at 45 estradiol, we have no idea how much tissue estradiol you're being constantly exposed to. But if you're constantly injecting, you're being exposed to more tissue estradiol than you would be if you injected less frequently. Because guess what happens when you inject less frequently? Every fifth day or something, every fourth day? Well, you start getting a peak in estradiol, but then it starts troughing. You relieve the tissue estrogen burden counterintuitively by injecting more testosterone at once. And your estrogen can actually peak higher than it does on like your 30 milligram daily injection if you just do like 100 or 150 every 5 days or even 200 every 7 days. But then it's going to trough. And at the tissue level, you will ultimately net be exposed to less estrogen. Sounds counterintuitive, but it is true. The problem with really frequent injections, especially daily injections, is you are generally estrogen dominant, okay? Your bloods could say 1,100, 1,000, 900 total tests, and you think that's okay. But again, the pharmacokinetics of the depot, that testosterone in the depot is much different when it's a lot at once, a bigger oil droplets versus these micro depots. You get to stay in an androgen dominant ratio when you inject more testosterone at one time, and then you let it trough back down. The fifth way to tell that you need more testosterone at once, ultimately higher doses, but at one time with breaks in between, is that no matter how high you go on frequent injections, like, you take it up to 170, take it up to 190, take it up to 200, you go as far as to do 250, 300, you still don't have sexual function. And at that point, your crit is high. You've got overstimulation, you have insomnia, you have otherwise side effects, you have too much acne. If you're trying to scale your dose up, but still doing frequent injections and things still aren't working, that is a really glaring indicator that you need more testosterone at once. Ditch the frequent injections, have a gap in between, and then you can tolerate 200 milligrams a test. I guarantee you. So look, daily injections, every other day injections, they work for a subset of individuals, but not everyone's like that. In fact, more often than not, in my experience in coaching, people respond far less good to frequent injections, whether low dose or high dose, and much better to infrequent boluses. Boys, I built digital products, downloadable PDFs, and video courses that show you how to dial in sexual function, energy, anabolism, and well-being on testosterone. You can find them all in the description of this video. Mastering libido and erections on TRT. Source list to get the things you need. All right, mastering testosterone cream for libido and erections. Mastering testosterone cypionate for libido and erections. You can find all these digital products down in the description of this video, and you can buy them instantly. Boys, coaching is now back to 50% off. We run these once a year. You're going to save thousands of dollars on the 3-month and the 6-month one-on-one protocol engineering coaching packages with yours truly. You and I will work together to find the protocol that works for you so that sexual function comes roaring back and you can dial in forever. Use the coupon code 50 now to save thousands of dollars on the 3-month or the 6-month coaching program. The moment you book, we're on the fact-finding call as soon as the next morning. Look, we don't waste time. We start. If you want to get your sexual function straight on TRT, this is all I do for more than a half decade. It's 50% off right now. Code's on the screen and down in the description of this video. I'd love to have you on board. All right, my brother in Tess. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you. Do me 2 favors. Number 1, like the video if you're still here and any of this resonated with you. I'd really appreciate you hit the like button. I need you to. Secondarily, sub to the channel. Listen, this is all we talk about. We've talked about it for years. This content is changing people's lives. I'd love to have you on board. All right, brother, kick ass, rock on. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you in the next one.